Here we are, people. New album, Teminite. 11 tunes, 44 minutes long. Very excited. First in 3 years. Am I right in saying that? And yeah, I just imagine it's going to be a bit of a whirlwind journey as usual from Mr. Sam Norris, Temigod, the Temigod himself. All sorts of instrumentation on show. And yeah, I know that he's been working super hard on this one. It's got a pirate theme, so I'm looking forward to that, seeing how that kind of integrates itself into the music itself, the whole theme. I was gonna try and watch the YouTube video for the opener with it, but you know, I just didn't. The whole thing of switching from my YouTube screen to the Spotify one, I just didn't want to. You know, my computer was going to have an absolute. It was going to be a ball ache for my computer, basically. So we're gonna skip that, unfortunately. But it is about the music, so here we are for the music. But yeah, I think, you know, without further ado, we should probably get going with it. Again, if there are any connection problems, apologies, I can't do anything about it at the moment. But again, the video will be going up on YouTube. I'm sure Sam will be sharing that about in some way, and that'll be all completely fine, seamless, all that jazz. So we're here for the music right now, and we are going to go for it, kicking off with the title track right here, the opener. Here we go. Raise the black flag. I'm ready. I'm locked in. Let's go.
Here, Jim. Have a seat and I'll tell you a tale that'll cause your blood to run cold. It was a dark and stormy night, 3 weeks out of Ilfracombe, bound for the Isle of Lundy. Just east of Devil's Slide, late in the middle watch, there was a call from the fore topsail yard.
I'm dead there! The sail! What point on the starboard bow?
Through the mist and fog, a dark shape emerged. A ghostly figure standing at its helm. Course set, intent clear. It bore down upon us. On the wind, a refrain to strike fear into the heart of any man. 15 men on a 10-man's chest. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. Drink and the devil had done for the rest. Yo ho ho and a bottle of
Yo.
rum.
Raise the black flag.
Please forgive me. Please forgive me for pausing just for a second here. I've got to catch my breath a little bit. Didn't know what to do with myself. You know, you go into it thinking, oh yeah, you know, new Teminite album. You're maybe not fully in the zone, and you're like, you know, you haven't fully, you know, logged in with what you're gonna expect. that intro was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. I loved it so much. I mean, we're going to carry on. I'm not going to do this with every tune, but I do just have to have this little moment here to catch up, to like get the composure, regather. Like, what? The dubstep's mad as well, by the way. That is Teminite in full flow. Really is. But we're carrying on. Unbelievable.
We're gonna need a bigger gun. Oh, let's use that one. On my command.
Send them to the depths. Raise the black flag.
Oh, where's me rum?
Where's me rum? Where's me? That Sam, you're a savage. You're an absolute savage. Well, why do you? Why do you? Not why, but you know, I know why, because it's like, you know, this is like, it's such a welcomed, like, it's such a breath of fresh air, because you just don't get it. You don't get this stuff. It's not like the norm, you know, expansive dubstep like this. It's not the norm at the moment. We're so, I think, you know, the scene overall kind of trapped in specific kinds of dubstep that don't really lend to it being particularly expansive or melodic or just ambitious with the ideas, you know. That's exactly what that tune is. Like, that introduction, fantastic. You know, you're in the story, you're in the journey from the off. You just feel like you're in a film, like you're part of a film from the first second. The vocal sample, the dubstep is mad. You know, it is him in full flow. There was maybe like, I'd have to hear them again, but I feel like there might have been a slight moment where there could have been like an extra bit of percussion at the entrance of each drop. I could have just been imagining that, but that was something that I think stuck in my head when each one came in. Again, could be wrong on that. The problem with this music is that there's so much going on. It's so multifaceted that hearing it once and giving your thoughts is kind of a futile exercise and process. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't remember everything, which is a shame. But you know, there was a lot of variety in the dubstep as well, from the first drop to the second drop, and within each drop as well. So ultimately, yeah, beyond that, it's not one where I can, you know, remember all the little intricate details. I was getting lost in the music, but a very powerful and impactful opening, and very excited to move on and also to hear that one again. You know, already from the off, it's one that I'm going to be listening to many times over. many times over, as I can imagine is the case with all of you as well. But let's move on. Track number 2, Ghost Ship. By the way, I'm aware there are a few people that might be new to these streams and blah 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 whatever. Please don't ruin or spoil what happens in these tunes. Like, don't say, oh, it's this genre or that genre. Oh, can't wait for the second drop or blah blah blah. Like, please just like try and. I know it's exciting. I know we're all here hearing the music, but please don't. I haven't heard any of it on purpose, yeah, because I want the whole thing to be fresh. So don't tell me, because I want to look at what you're saying as well. But please don't. I know it is difficult. Don't get me wrong. You wanna. It's very exciting. It's very exciting. But that's all I'm saying. I wanna be surprised. Right. Let's go. Okay. Okay. Oh my days, stop it, stop it, stop it. I don't care if I'm pausing it again. That is literally my exact kind of favourite dubstep lead in music. I'm not even joking. Like, I'm almost crying. Like, I'm like the happiness is just like, oh, when it's got that bounce and hop and a skip to it, and all the sounds are just so well angled against each other. Fucking hell. Oh, let's keep going. Oh. Stop it, Sam. I mean, I've said it, you know, I've said it. That is the shit that I love from that kind of music so much. Genuinely. So good. The angling of all the sounds against each other, the flow of it, it never loses the energy. And I think you run a risk if you're doing that style of, you know, the second drop, maybe if you're going to change it up, being a bit flatter. Yeah, the energy and the excitement of it just not being kept up, but it's done so well there. Beyond that, production's fantastic, fits the idea very well. It's got a very serious and dark energy running through the whole thing, kind of permeating it. That is propelling it forward as well. This is good. It's so far very impactful opening couplet. I feel like I'm on a voyage. I'm on the ship. I'm being carried along. And with me hearties. Just saying. Let's keep going. Track 3, Sail Away. Sail Away, you know, the sailor way. You know, you could do a little play on words with that one. It's the sailor way, but also let's sail away. Let's go. Ooh. By the way, I've got Mr. Big with me, of course. Okay. Those bits are sensational. Wow. Nice tune, and I say nice because it is, like, you know, bringing it down a little notch. It's got a pleasant vibe to it. Still heavy, you know, it's got the heavy elements, but, you know, it's pleasant. It's more like agreeable, more accessible, I suppose, for your average person. The average person being someone that doesn't like bass music, let's be honest. Oh, a different vocalist. Ah, Jonah Hitchens, the GOAT. That is sensational. Oof. Woof, woof, woof. Loads and loads of good about that one. That one gave me the kind of vibe of like, you know, if Teminite's doing that live, there are distinct parts which sound quite electric guitar-y. Bits that you could do with the piano. You got the vocal as well. This sounds like one where, you know, midway through a set, Sam's just like, oh, you know, introducing Jonah Hitchens, etc. Blah. Like people come on with actual instrumentation, and it turns into like a band for a couple of tunes. And yeah, that one would definitely be one of them for sure. My one, the main drawbacks for me, I think lyrically, I'm gonna have to get used to it. There were a couple of moments, I think, from what I remember, where I was like, you know, the vocal delivery is very good. The notes are hit, the right notes are hit, but there are a couple of words where I was like, you know, maybe just a little bit naff potentially. You know, had me a little bit like that. But again, it could be a thing where I get used to them. And then the snare for me and the heaviness was just had a little bit of a flat feel to it. Could have been a little bit sharper, which we have got in the previous two tunes. So yeah, just little things like that. But I love the idea. Got that genius touch. It is a genius touch in the drops. That dee 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 dee. That is like little things like that are what separate the best from the rest, in my opinion. Just very earwormy, very catchy. But yeah, a very nice tune. A nice little directional mood change at that point. Well, at this point, we're 3 in. And we have got quite a few left to go. Everyone's commenting snare because why not? Got to get a little snare mention in there. Has to be done, even with the Temigod himself. But yeah, that was track 3, Sail Away. And moving on now, we are going to Pirate After Party. So, you know, this reminds me of... what is it? Because the party don't stop. What was that? That tune from the last album that had the party bit in the vocal in the build. Which tune was that? Party Time. Well, there you go. So we had Party Time, and now we got the actual Pirate After Party. So I'm spotting a bit of lineage here. I'm spotting a bit of continuation. You know. You have the real life party, and then you're just chilling with your pirate mates, and you're going to the fucking pirate after party. So we're going to hear it right now, track number 4. Musically, he's just on another plane. He's on another planet, on a level, like. Got chills already. Chills already. Bit of Mumba. Okay. Okay. Let's go. Sam. Well. You know what? I think that might be, for me, the most melodically, musically sound so far. And the reason I say that is because I think, without kind of like very glaringly obvious like focal moments, if you will, the drops aren't like, there isn't like a massive crescendo towards the heavier moments that we get. They're not like points that the track is kind of framed around in the way that we get with most dubstep, and which we've got so far with the other, you know, preceding tunes. And that kind of means that the melodic side of it, the musical side of it, just plays way more of a part. You know, undeniably, the other three before, and I imagine the ones we're going to get after, all very musical as well. But with the music being the driving force as opposed to the heaviness of it, it just, you know, has much more, well, plays much more of a role. It's much more at the forefront. And it just gives it that little bit more of a charm, that bit more story, that bit more of a, yeah, just like personality, you know, and individuality. Because melody is the provider of emotion and mood and stuff like that. So, yeah, you know, just very feel good, on its feet, and happy-go-lucky kind of tune, which whilst still having those little bits of menace and evil in there, yeah, the little bits with the hop and a skip and a jump to it, you know, I love that shit. We got a little bit of that with Ghost Ship, and you know, returning to the fore there for that one, Pirate After Party. Yeah, I just love the kind of stream-like and continuous kind of vibe of that one. Again, didn't have that many individual moments it was like framed around. It just kept going and mutating and evolving and, you know, revealing itself more and more as it went on. Great stuff. Not one for, like, again, those specific moments, but just a solid cut. And I think very well placed at this point, because I imagine we're going to get some more bangers following this one. So having that there as a kind of, it's kind of like not an interlude. I mean, that'd be a bit strong, but it's kind of like a midway point of, you know, providing, you know, stitching and gluing the ones either side of it together. But anyway, that's my thoughts on that one. Moving on, we have Sesh the Seven Seas. Are American people aware of what a sesh is? Seshing, everyone aware with seshing. Sam, are you, when you say seshing, are you meaning what I think you're meaning? You know, sesh. you and your bottle of rum, mate. Getting on the sesh, gotta love it. But yeah, here we go. Sesh the Seven Seas, Teminite, Jonah Hitchens. Let's go.
Another classic day of being a pirate. What shall I do? Have my pirate breakfast, bottle of rum, clean my pirate teeth, do my pirate taxes. No, wait, I'm a pirate, I don't do taxes. But most importantly, I'll be having some session. Want to know why? I'm a pirate, motherfucker. The pirate life for me. With a bottle of rum, I'm setting sail to sesh the seven seas. Yes, I'm a pirate. That means I drink a lot of rum. And rest assured that on my ship, the rum is never gone. And I got a legendary crew. Session and sailing on a ship is all we want to do. We're pirates of the party. The sesh is what we need. So pirates, get ready to sesh the seven seas.
That's one of the best introductions I've heard the whole year. Bruv, that was sensational. Ooh. This is jokes. This is jokes.
I'm getting around it now. No, put your money away. This one's on. Sure, we're pirates, but does that mean that we gotta be disrespectful? I'd never steal booze from a bar. That'd be dreadful. We steal the gold when we buy the drinks you see. Support our local taverns, and then we sesh it back to sea. We got a bad rep, but we stress that we got a heart of gold. All we want is to have some fun and keep our beers cold. We're party pirates, that's what we live to be. So pirates should sail to sesh the seven seas.
Bro, the lyrics are sensationally good. This is so funny. I'm properly voyaging with this one. Properly voyaging.
We sesh the seven seas. 6 bottles of rum from the pirate capes. Hey, what you want? I'm getting around it now. No, put your money away. This one's on me. Yo, ho, ho. We sesh the seven seas. 6 bottles of rum from the pirate capes. Hey, what you want? I'm getting around it now. No, put your money away. This one's on me.
That was bloody fantastic. Oh god. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's not the strongest production on the heavier bits. Like, let's be real here. Compared to, you know, the Teminite standard and the tunes we've got already here, the definition of the sound overall in those heavier moments isn't amazing. You know, it's got a very like early 2010s modern dubstep kind of vibe to it. But you know, everything else about it, the vocal, the ideas themselves, the flow of the tune, just the way it kind of jumps and hops and skips about, like, you gotta love it. You've got to love it. Like everything that is gone for here conceptually ties together well. I mean, yes, again, the kind of rounded feel of the heavier parts may not be, you know, quite the absolute, you know, Teminite full sheen kind of thing, but I think that kind of makes sense for the fun of the tune. Do you know what I mean? Like, not taking itself too seriously, not, you know, fully fleshed out, I suppose, and just a bit of fun. And I think that kind of allows you to concentrate more on the lyrical aspect of it. Insane performance from Mr. Jonah Hitchens, by the way. Like Sam, if you can, would you be able to disclose like how did that work with the lyrics on that one? Like, were you doing it together, or was he just sending ideas your way, or how was it working? Like, did you write them together, or was it mostly Jonah, or even you? Like, I'm very interested as to how this lyrical wizardry came to be. You wrote most of them. Okay. Yeah, I mean, fucking honestly, that is one of the it's one of the most inspired dubstep vocal performances that I've heard in quite a while. So yeah, hilarious tune. Lyrics were sensational, and it's just got a yes, yeah. I mean, that's a a pivotal and important part of it. The yo ho ho, we sesh the seven seas. Like, we are seshing out here. We're voyaging. We're marauding. We're going from island to island, getting all the gold, and we're seshing. We're just straight seshing. Absolutely. Yeah, very fun tune. Enjoyed that. We are moving on. Track 6, Plunder. Lego. 800 mils in this mug, by the way. 800 mils.
Ahoy there, matey! Everybody on the ship!
Ooh. Yak, yak. Oh, it is a bit of a rhythmy kind of.
All hands on deck!
Oi, 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 oi. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Oi's in the chat. Oi, oi, oi. Mate, this album is a journey. Like, now I'm, just over halfway through. We're beginning to piece together the story that's going on here, We're voyaging. We're on the ship. Like, we're all on the ship right now. This album is a joke. It's just a joke. Like, the whole thing is... Don't be silly, come on. Well, I mean, it's a joke in terms of, how good it is at points. And, that is a joke. This is one of them tunes. I'm not even joking. That first drop knocked me for 6. Those little squelchy triplets. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Oh yeah. Ah, fucking hell. Stop it. I'm actually about to get up. We're good. We good. We good. That is one of my favourites so far. Absolutely, that is one of my picks so far, definitely and for sure. Very lively, on its feet. Got a real sense of story again with this one, perhaps more so than a couple of others that we've had before. Fantastic range and variety going on there with the dubstep. So much taking your attention this way and that. Got a couple of classic Teminite sounds in there. Those like you know, the way he triples them and like just layers them on top of each other. It's full throttle. It's relentless and we love it. Big up to the Ois. The Ois, you know, fantastic part that they play in the tune. Introduction's fantastic overall. It's again that thing of just keeping up the energy so well. Establishing it early doors and then it just, you know, plays its part. Really knows what it's good for. Sam, like, honestly, 6 tracks in, 5 to go. On to a winner with this one. But you know what's mad is that, you know, we're at that point in the year where you're like, end of year lists and all that kind of thing. And you're kind of like, oh, if an album's come out so late, how could you put it in? But it would be a mark of how good it is and how much you enjoy it that you would include it, because you can't not enjoy it. Like, you can't not include it, sorry. Like, this is mad. We're halfway through. This is what I love about this kind of music, and I'm sure it's the same for a lot of people watching this stream. You know, obviously people that aren't as well. This is what dubstep's been lacking. This is what dubstep is lacking. And Teminite always comes through with the flavour. Invention, ambition, good production, all just tying together. Great concepts, a whole story behind the thing as well. Bloody hell, we've got a few to go still, so let's keep going. Track number 7 is The Deep. Come on. Come on. Okay. Perfect little turn at the end there. Because, you know, it was kind of... It was moving along. And I must admit, I wasn't entirely sure at some points which kind of mood it was going for because of the direction of it. Is it going to end up quite remorseful and melancholic? Is there going to be a bit of hope at the end? And it answers that perfectly with that slight little upturn just at the end, which is preparing you for the final few tunes, which, you know, it's just perfectly placed in the album. It's like, okay, we've had all this madness, now we're going to have a little chilled one, re-engage with the kind of emotion of it, and then we're gonna, you know, just prepare you for the final leg of the album. Sam, would you mind enlightening us on kind of what that interlude looks like to you? Like, if every tune here had a music video, what does that one look like? Like, what's happening? What's just happened? Have they lost a battle or something? Or is this like leading towards a thing of hope at the end? I'm interested. I feel like when you're making music, you've got at least like a little bit of an image in your head of what it would look like if it was a film. Do you know what I mean? So if you have any words on that, would be cool to know. Because I feel like at that point, if you're not engaged with the whole story of it beforehand, then definitely with that tune you're going to be. Because it's like, oh, a little moment of reflection. Just to, again, re-engage with the whole emotional side of it. And we're all just... a ship has sunk. Fuck. It's taken all the sailors. Oh, mate, it's savage. This... Bloody hell. So it's quite bleak. But there is that little upturn at the end, so I wonder how the mood is going to shift from here, what we're going to get. But that's cool. I mean, now I can picture it fully. You know, a lot of deep emotional feeling laced within that tune. Lovely. A lovely little interlude kind of moment there. We're going to move on. Oh, a collaboration, you say. Omar Varela. One of those names that has been mostly, you know, mostly not absent, I wouldn't go that far, but been a bit quiet last few years. Was an absolute fan favourite in the modern dubstep scene, absolutely. So this is a very cool collaboration. And looking forward to how this one turns out. How it has turned out. And we're going to hear it now. Teminite, Omar Varela, Hell Raiders. Couple claps. Proper pirate theme, let's go. Oh, okay. Aye. Ooh, yeah. Oh my gosh. Man, this tune is incredible. It's such an attention to detail, I feel, especially with this one. I just want to say sorry because I don't want to forget this when I kind of round up at the end of the tune. The care in the construction here, it's so easy to get impatient when it comes to music creation. It's just like, oh, I need to do this now, I need to do that bit, include this, whatever. You get excited by your own ideas, but there's such a patience here in constructing the tune. Just had to mention that. Oh my days, I'm a lamb. Oh, just cut so well. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's true. Machine Gun X2, Machine Gun times 2, there's no way this song is real. I kind of agree. That's kind of how I'm feeling at the end of hearing that tune. I'm like, wait, was that a thing? Did that just happen? So much going on, all so different. I'm kind of befuddled by it. Like, I'm marveling at it. I'm really appreciating it. How everything is stitched together here. It's very effective, you know, as a tune overall, how it develops and progresses over its course. There's just so much going on. I don't want to forget about it. It is a song from the depths of hell, absolutely. I was scared I was scared for my life. I think looking back on it, having just heard it, I definitely did expect bigger drops. Do you know what I mean? For the grandiose feel of the introduction, just how much it was setting something up, the length of it, the duration of it, the way that it just kept layering and building, and the story just was being revealed more and more and more. You kind of do feel like, oh, it's going to be this massive bro-steppy, well, modern dubsteppy, whatever, just unleashing of epic, bass sound. And it isn't that, and it's a welcome surprise. Like, it catches you off guard, nifty little trap, bouncy tuner right there. Their styles are working together very well. The production's good, it's clean, the way everything's assembled here. The attention to detail is just mad. It's got a very sharp and refined feel to it. And then the midsection as well, that delicate, fragile section where everything just kind of pauses and you're like, okay, we just got an interlude, but that's like an interlude within that tune. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, just like time stops with that midsection. You're just kind of like what is actually going to happen at this point? Where's it going to go? Amazing. A lot of different sections here, being put together. I think I am myself going to have to get a little bit more used to how they work alongside one another and appreciate that fully with more listens. It's not 100% there at the moment, but I imagine it will be when I do hear it again, which I will be doing a lot of times. So, crazy song, mad ambition, a great collaboration. Collaborations aren't easy. You're sacrificing ideas for other people's ideas, and you're constantly, toing and froing between what's good and what isn't. That was on point as a collaboration, and I imagine I'm just going to enjoy it more and more with each listen and how the different sections operate alongside one another. But yeah, fucking cool tune. We're moving on. Ho! You had to have a tune called The Kraken, didn't you? You just fucking had to. There's no way that you were going to make this album without a tune called The Kraken. So, we've only got a few left, which is a bit of a rip, but here we go. Teminite, The Kraken, track number 9, Raise the Black Flag album. Here we effing go. Ooh. Another bouncy little number. Okay. Another epic introduction. Intergalactic pirates, like spaceship pirate. Oh my gosh. Ay, ay, ay. Oh my day. Oh, stop it. Stop it. There are so many sick tunes on this album. I'm running out of superlatives, mate. This is the dubstep that I like. I like all kinds of dubstep, but this one, the energy, the sounds used and involved, the dynamic between them. I hold my hands up. I hold my hands up. Give it to me. Give it to me. Fucking hell. Oh my days, get out. Sorry, no words. No words, nothing to add at this point that I haven't said already, and I'm being genuine. I'm being for real when I say that. I've talked about epic introductions. I have talked about gnarly, savage dubstep, classic Teminite sounds rebounding and ricocheting off one another perfectly to create that proper evil energy, you know. There was a part of me when the first drop came in, I must admit, I've just remembered this, like, there was a little part of me that felt like there could have been a few more sounds. There were a few gaps available when the first drop comes in. I do remember that. I was like, oh, maybe it needs just a couple more spaces being filled here and there with that first drop. With that being the first impression of the heaviness that we get and whatnot. Aside from that, yeah, I mean, we're looking at another massive dubstep number from Teminite. Like, fucking hell. Again, just without the words, without new words to add on to the ones that I've said already about several other tunes, like Teminite and Full Flow. That's just, it is what it is, like, mad. And one that will go towards, you know, making this album easily one of the, you know, most impressive and most accomplished of this year. Mad tunage. Okay, we're nearing the, we're nearing the end, but we're at the final two. So first up we have Electroctopy. Can someone give me an absolute definite on that pronunciation? Like, what? How are the syllables working there? Electroctopy. Electroctopi, like an octopus. Love that. Okay, so Electric Octopus. This is. I don't want to make any guesses as to what the style is going to be. Please don't let me know. Don't do that. but exciting. Okay, I'm sensing maybe a little bit of a stylistic change here. If not, obviously completely fine, but electro, octopi, 8 limbs and that. Man got 8 limbs, you know. Let's go. Fuck you know. I'm not looking at the chat. I'm not looking at the chat because I know loads of you are going, "Ooh, it's this genre, it's this genre." Ooh. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, come on. Bro, bit of an inspected vibe to this one. Bit of a neuro-y. I'm not even joking. Ooh, yeah, baby. Come on. Also a bit of like volume vibes, you know? I mean, that is inspected anyway, but still. Culprit as well, yes, of course. Lovely tune. Want some cheeky musicality to go with it, why not? Ooh. Okay, interesting. Oof. Lovely. Lovely, 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 jubbly. Yeah, wow. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, we haven't heard that kind of approach and style attempted by Teminite before. I feel kind of weird, you know, calling you by your producer name in a way, but I'm still going to do it because ultimately it's a Teminite album, not a Sam Norris album. But yes, I don't think we have heard Teminite that cutesy before. On its feet, the music, that kind of dainty and fragile and just like pinprick almost with the outlay of sound. Very cool, musically on point, some fantastic sounds in there. Got a couple of influences on show. I mean, Sam Teminite was talking about having listened to Voltage 3 and then making this tune. That's interesting because, you know, obviously, not obviously, but there is a really stuff like this in Voltage 3 or basically in Space Lace's catalogue at all. So I'm definitely interested as to the influence and how direct it is there, Sam, if you wouldn't mind divulging on that a little bit. But I mean, I suppose some of the more gurgly and wub-like oozy, swampy kind of sounds. Yeah, cheeseburger, like Dwoozwa just said there. Bit of a cheeseburger kind of vibe. I was also getting bits of Culprit, Volume, Inspected Artists, you know, that kind of thing. Just a really cool little experiment. Really cool. Really enjoyed it. And quite the penultimate cut in setting up the final cut here. So I wonder what we're going to get. I wonder how different it's going to be, whether it's going to be some kind of grand finale or whether it's just going to tone the whole project down. Don't let me know. You know, I'm not going to look at the chat for a couple of minutes just so that thought passes through. But yeah, I don't want to know. But yeah, that was a lovely tune. Haven't really heard Teminite like that before, and very welcomed, especially at this point in the album. Cool stuff. But unfortunately, we are at the final track. Raise the Black Flag. New album from Teminite. Is this the fourth album? The fourth album or the fifth album? It's not the third, is it? Or is it the third? Been a fantastic ride. Been an absolute journey so far. But now we're going to cap it off. This is the culmination of this very ambitious and accomplished piece of work. Here we go. The final cut on the album. Well, very aptly titled Thundering Typhoons. So it is going to be, I suppose, maybe a bit of a seismic ending. Let's have a listen. Just mentally preparing myself for this because I know there's going to be something. 4 minutes solid. Let's go. Fuck yeah. I'm running as a pirate, running away from the enemy, or running towards. Damn, that is savage. Blimey! Ooh, blimey! This is a bounder. It's just flattening everything in its path. Oh. Oh, that's so sick. loving the lyrics once again. Oh. Oh, okay, yeah, winding it down now. That final bit, wow. Who was on the vocals with that bit, Sam? Was that like a genuine choir that like just did that for that tuner, or is it a sample? What is it? Thank us for listening. Thank you for providing, mate. Fucking hell. Guest singer. Wow. Oh my days. The whole fam getting involved. That is unreal. That just makes it so much better. That is, I mean, come on. You've got to just sit back and applaud, don't you? The whole Norris fam getting involved. You just gotta love it. That is sensational. I was gonna say, actually, they sound just like you. I mean, I'm kind of joking, but, you know, still. Everyone clap. Let's just, you know, one of them. Woo! All the people in the back. Brilliant ending tune. I love how it was kind of bounding along. Had this kind of feeling that you were moving along with it. Very serious in tone. And a nice little genre switch up as well. At the end there. That was lovely. Yeah. A bit more of a pace to it. Just gave the feeling of things kind of reaching a climax at the end here with a bit more of a frenetic pace to it than a lot of the dubstep that we've got previously with the album. And yeah, just again that bounding feel, loved it. I felt like I was a part of the tune running, and it was, you know, I was the tune. I was, you know, running along, running towards something, going to conquer it. Then you get those seismic moments with the drops, the heaviness, like a battle's just happened, and then, you know, the dust settles at the end. And it's all calm and chilled, and you're just like, okay, I'm looking back on conquering this motherfucking land. That's all I'm saying, just land. Just conquering the land, right? A lot with that album. So much so that I kind of, you know, with a piece of music like that, I do want to kind of hold off a bit on giving complete final thoughts, because there's no way that I can remember everything. It's impossible. But yeah, loads of different genres, mostly fantastic production, very ambitious, some classic Teminite sounds in there, good bits of experimentation as well. The story, the theme, there's so much good about it, and I've only heard it once, so it's one of those that I'm very excited. You know, I'm going to stop this stream and I'm going to go and hear it straight away again. Straight away. Start to finish, no skipping, all of that. And I'm excited for that. So, I'm going to be giving my updated thoughts on the album at some point. Whether it's a year-end favourite video, who knows? Or maybe it's going to be a roundup of some sort at the beginning of next month, which is another year. That's a bit crazy. But yeah, bottom line, a couple of tunes here that I'm a little bit not as convinced by. I think maybe Sail Away. What other ones were there? I think the drops of Sesh the Seven Seas, maybe. But apart from that, honestly, they've all... I mean, even the ones that I'm not quite as big on, they've all got something going for them. whether it's a drop or a melody, the kind of structure and just general format of the tune, vocals. Every tune has got something really good going for it. But yeah, I am at this point gonna leave my thoughts at that, because you know I don't want to give definite views on the project without having listened to it at least like 4 or 5 times. So cool, thank you guys very much for tuning in. I don't think I'm gonna put the full stream up. Well, actually, what would you guys prefer? Would you guys prefer for me to put up the whole thing as it is, or the full stream? Okay, interesting. Wow. Okay. Full stream o'clock. Again, thank you guys very much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed, and see you. Well, you'll see me when you see me, my face and all that. But yeah. Peace and love, peeps.